Hello children, welcome to 20th video class. So we are doing lesson 4. Do you remember what we have learned in lesson 4 in previous video classes? I hope you have remember at least half of the thing which you have learned, right? So we have learned the lesson name is adaptations in animals, and we have learned what is habitat and what is adaptation, need for adaptation in animals, adaptations to different habitats, adaptations in terrestrial animals. In terrestrial animals, we have learned about arboreal animals and summer sleep or estivation, winter sleep or hibernation, and what is camouflaging, and adaptations in aquatic animals, adaptations in amphibians, and adaptations in aerial animals. What are the adaptations in aerial animals? These things we have learned in previous classes. Okay, means how they physically adapted to the nature. These things we have learned in previous classes, and in today's class we are going to learn adaptations for food. Okay, what are the adaptations based on their food? Understand? So in today's class, let us learn adaptations for food. Animals eat a variety of food. They show different adaptations based on their food habits. They show the different adaptations based on their food and can be grouped as herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. Understand? So depending on the adaptation of the food, animals are categorized into three. Okay, they are herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. Let us learn firstly about herbivores. What are herbivores? Herbivores are plant eating animals. Okay, herbivores are plant eating animals. As you listen this statement, do you get one animal in the mind which you see in your daily life, which you see in your circumstances? They are cows, buffaloes, goats, and sheep are some herbivorous animals. They have sharp front teeth that are highly developed for eating and grinding the food. You see in herbivorous animals, front teeth means front teeth are which are visible in front. They are incisors. You have learnt in types of teeth. So those incisors are very much developed in the herbivores. Why? Because as they open and they put grass in the mouth, means they need to cut the grass into the mouth. That's a reason their incisors are well developed and they are very sharp, and for one bite they can cut the grass into, like scissors, it can cut the grass into the mouth, and later on they keep on chewing to grind the food. Understand? So in that way their incisors and later on to chew the food, and their molars and premolars also developed in the highly developed. Understand? And then the trunk of an elephant and long neck of a giraffe help them to reach for leaves from tall trees. Understand? So the trunk of an elephant will be helpful to reach the from top of the tree. They can take the top of the tree, they can take the grass and they can eat. Even giraffe can reach more high, more top. Okay, they can take the leaves from there and they can eat. There is no competition to come to giraffe food. Well, why? Because only giraffe can reach the top of the tree because of it has very long neck. Okay, that physically they adapted in that way. The physical adaptation you see. Okay, they physically adapted to the nature in that way. They can reach the top of the tree and they can take the food, they can take the leaves and they can eat, and they can fulfill their stomach, right? So to balance the nature, their animal physical adaptations are depending, and also their food habits also depending to balance the nature only. Understand? So now sheep do not have front teeth on its upper jaw. Okay, this is a thing you have to understand. Sheep do not have the upper teeth in the front upper jaw, in front teeth in the upper jaw. Instead, it has a hard pad of gum that helps in tearing of plants. Okay, you see. So though they are not having front teeth, like pad kind of thing will be. With that pad itself, it can cut and it can take into the mouth and it can chew. Understand? And then see the herbivorous. What are the important points you can see on the screen? Okay, and then move to the animals. Examples of herbivores, you can see elephant, giraffe, horse, yak, and rabbit, and you see some kind of pandas and all. These are the examples of herbivores. Okay, so then move to the next screen. In the next screen, we are going to learn about carnivores, how they are adapted, how they are adapted according to the food habit. Their teeth are developed according to the food habits. Understand? Carnivores are flesh eating animals. Okay, flesh eating animals. Herbivores are plant eating animals. Carnivores are flesh eating animals. Examples: lions, tigers, and wolves are some carnivorous animals. They have powerful jaws. They have powerful jaws. Why? Because to tear the meat, so they need lot of strength in the jaws. So that's the reason they have very, very powerful jaws. Sharp incisors. Incisors means the front, which we are able to see. The front teeth are incisors, and pointed canine teeth. Canine teeth play very, very important role in carnivores. Okay, why? Because with the incisors only they tear the meat. Okay, they tear the meat. If with the incisors they cut the meat, and with the canine teeth are very, very important. With the canine teeth they tear the meat. Understand? With incisors they cut, and with the canine teeth they tear the meat. They help them to catch and tear the flesh of animals. With the incisors they can cut and then they can catch with that, and with the canine teeth they tear the meat. Understand? Flesh eating birds, such as flesh eating, some among these are the lions, tigers, wolves are the among the animals. And among the birds also comes under animals, but category of birds, under category of birds there are some flesh eating birds. What are they? Eagles, vultures have sharp claws and pointed curved beaks to catch their prey and tear it flesh. Understand? To catch their prey and they tear the flesh. With the help of pointed beak, curved pointed beak, they can tear, and also with the claws they can catch. With the claws they can hold the meat in the claws with the help of claws, and they can tear with the help of beak. See their physical adaptation. Understand? According to the food habits, their physical adaptation. Okay, and then look at into the screen. The important points you can watch on the screen. Okay, so now remember, herbivores are plant eating animals. Carnivores are flesh eating animals. In herbivores, front teeth are well developed, and in carnivores, front teeth and also canine teeth are well developed. Why? Because they have to hold with the incisors and they can tear with the canine teeth. So that's the reason here in the carnivores, two kinds of, even human beings, we also eat meat, right? So that's the reason our canine teeth also well developed. Understand? So in the carnivores, but and later on we will learn about omnivores. Omnivores means they can eat plants as well as animals. Okay, flesh eating and plant eating animals are called omnivores. Okay, now let us compare the differences between, let us compare herbivores and carnivores. Herbivores are plant eating animals, carnivores are only flesh eating animals. In herbivores, incisors are well developed. Okay, and in carnivores, incisors as well as canine teeth are well developed. Understand? Among animals, some animals are carnivorous animals, and under birds category also, some of the birds are only carnivores, means they eat only flesh of the animals. They are what are the examples? Eagles and vultures. Eagles and vultures, they don't eat any like plants, right? They eat only flesh of other animals. Understand? Next, let us move to the next screen. In the next screen, you can see the examples of carnivores. Okay, you can see the tiger, lion, wolf, fox, and then some kind of fish, and cheetah, and eagle you can see, and some kind. Okay, you can see the vulture, you can see on the screen. Okay, so now these are the examples of carnivores. Next, move to the omnivores. Omnivores are animals that eat both plants and flesh of other animals. Did you understand the difference, children? Herbivores means plant eating animals. Carnivores means flesh eating animals. Omnivores means animals which eat plants as well as flesh of other animals. We also comes under omnivores because we eat plants as well as flesh of other animals. We eat meat, right? So examples: crows, bears, squirrels, and humans are some omnivores. They have sharp teeth to eat plants as well as the flesh of other animals. Understand? Their front teeth are slightly chisel shaped that help them to bite pieces of meat or plant material. Okay, so omnivores has shaped front teeth, means incisors are in the chisel shaped, because with the chisel shaped teeth they can cut the food. Okay, they can cut the food. That's a reason only we have chisel shaped front teeth. Means front teeth means incisors. We have chisel shaped front teeth, and with the help of the front teeth we can cut the food, and then later on the other teeth, the remaining three types of teeth are also very much helpful to eat the plants as well as the flesh of the animals. Understand? Their front teeth are slightly chisel shaped, and that help them to bite pieces of meat or plant material. Understand? And then look it into the important points on the screen. You can read. Okay, now move to the examples of omnivores. Okay, you can see the fox, bear, and some kinds of birds. Okay, hen, you can see hen also eat grass as well as some worms they eat, right? So that's what it is, omnivore. And human beings also omnivores, and gorilla, and you can see the some kind of rats. Okay, these are the examples of omnivores. Okay, so what is the basic comparison between herbivores, carnivores, omnivores? Means herbivores, plant eating animals; carnivores, flesh eating animals; omnivores, animals which eat both. Okay, animals which eat both plants and animals are called omnivores. Okay, then move to the next omnivores examples. Among birds, however, among carnivores some birds are there, and same in the omnivores, some birds are omnivores, means which they eat plants as well as animals. They eat plants as well as animals. Some of the birds eat plants as well as animals. The examples of omnivores: crow. Okay, crow have strong beaks and claws to help them to feed on both plants and flesh of other animals. Okay, you see the crow, it has sharp beak. Okay, with that sharp beak it can pick up the worm. Okay, all the birds which eat worms, flesh eating birds, has sharp beak. Okay, but whereas carnivorous birds, they have curved and sharp beak. Here sharp beak. Okay, curve is not necessary. Why? Because these omnivorous birds, they only pick up the meat and eat. That's all. So that's a reason only they have sharp. You see the crow beak, it has sharp. So then sharp beak. With the sharp beak they can pick up. Okay. Then pick with the beak and they can swallow it. Understand? So now crow and some kind of swan and these are the examples of omnivores. So now let us move to the next screen. The next screen we are going to learn care and concern for animals. Okay, care and protection, care and concern for animals. And this is very, very important. To balance the nature, we have to take care of the plants as well as animals. Understand? We have to balance the nature, to exist in the earth happily without any extinction. We have to balance. We, the human beings, have the ability to balance the nature by taking care of the animals as well as plants. Okay, since we are learning animals, let us learn how to take care of the animals. Okay, animals play an important role in our lives. We are depending on many ways on the animals. Animals and birds help in the spread of seeds to distant places, which then germinate into new plants. Thus they contribute to the growth of the plant species on the earth. Okay, you see such a important role they are playing. Okay, they are contributing the growth of the plants, they are contributing the species of the plants. Okay, they are helping in such a important, the plant growth, animals are helping, animals are contributing themselves in such a, in that way, though they cannot think like us, but they are giving their contribution for the growth of the plants. Understand? So but we human beings, we can think, and we can think in many ways, and we can contribute, how we can contribute, how greatly we can contribute ourselves to the for the growth of the plants, you think. Okay, so they contribute themselves for the growth of the plant species on the earth. Herbivore animals eat plants, and carnivorous feed on flesh of other animals. Thus, they bring balance in nature by their food habits. Did you understand? We have two categories of animals, right? Herbivorous animals, carnivorous animals. Herbivore animals will eat only plants. Carnivorous animals will eat flesh. Because of some are eating plants and some are eating flesh, so it means they are balancing the nature unknowingly. They are, how they are contributing themselves to the nature, how they are helping to the nature, you see, though they cannot think, they doesn't have knowledge like us, right? In spite of that, how they are helping the nature to keep it balanced, right? Thus they bring balance in nature by their food habits. Some animals like vultures, crows, feed on the dead animals and clean up the environment. This is also very, very important. So many animals, they die. Okay, if the dead bodies are lying on the land like that, you imagine the other animals will not able to survive. Why? Because they get smell. Okay, with that smell we get diseases and we will die. And not only we, animals also, animals which are in the forest, and we, if dead bodies are not cleaned by these vultures and crows, if they are lying on the land like that, if they are lying like that, means other animals will get diseases and they cannot exist on the in the nature, right? So that is the reason these vultures and crows, how they are contributing themselves to the nature, you see, they are, in which way they are contributing, they are cleaning the environment by they eat the dead bodies flesh, they eat the dead bodies meat, and they clean the dead body and then clean the environment. Understand? If these vultures and crows are not there in the nature, means all the dead bodies would be on the would be lying like that. Understand? You imagine, once you think in that way, all the dead bodies on the land like that, means how it will be. Okay, unbearable smell that we get, and with that smell so many bacteria will develop, and because of that bacteria we die also. Not only animals, plants also will die, animals also will die, even human beings also will die if the dead bodies are lying like that means, understand. And then so such this is also very very important in the nature. Okay, these vultures and crows will feed on the dead bodies and they clean the environment. This also helps in maintaining the balance in nature and keeping the environment healthy. Because of this vultures and crows, environment is keeping healthy. Because of they are eating the dead body, there is no chance to develop the bacteria, understand. So that is what, if bacteria is not developing means the environment will be healthy, the environment keeps healthy, understand. So we have to live in the healthy environment. All the plants and animals and human beings are required the healthy environment. Who is providing this healthy environment, how they are contributing themselves to the healthy environment, I hope you understood, right? Absence of any living being may cause imbalance in nature. Okay, if suppose plants are not, suppose we are talking about the categories of the animals, right? If herbivores are less, or carnivores are less, or omnivores are less, or these scavengers, vultures and crows are called scavengers. Those who eat dead bodies are called scavengers. If any among these category, any one of the category is less, so automatically the imbalance will take place in the nature. Imbalance will take place in the nature. Okay, so absence of any one category of animals, then automatically imbalance will take place in the nature. Therefore we should concerned about protection of plants and animals. Now you have to understand why we have to maintain, why we have to take care of the plants and animals. Okay, try to understand plants and animal species are very very important. Because of them only, because of that animals and plants, so there will be balance in the nature. If nature is balanced, the environment will be healthy. Okay, following steps can be, what are the steps to be adapted to protect the animals? What steps to be taken to protect the animals? What according to the adaptation? Okay, so animals feel safe in their natural habitat. For example, forest. What is the natural habitat? In the forest animals will be, right? So that the forest do not cut by the man. Okay, man do not cut the forest, so that their environment, their circumstances will be safe, understand. So that these animals also can live very safely in the forest. Animals feel safe in their natural habitat. Therefore, we should be concerned to protect the forests, which is home to many animals. Forest is the home to many animals. So that is the reason man should not cut the forest. Man should provide the proper forest environment to the animals. Okay, avoid cutting trees as much as possible. Okay, so if man is required plants means, so he has to, man has to plant the plants, and then those plants can cut by again man. So but do not spoil the forest. If you spoil the forest, automatically the entire animal world will spoil. Okay, so automatically imbalance will take place in the nature. Animals should not be killed or captured for sports and other recreational activities. Understand? Animals should not be killed for their leather or tusks. We ourselves should avoid using products made from animal parts to save them. Okay, so for example, for the decoration, for the leather bags, we depending on the animals. We should not depend on the in such a way. And for the for the artificial this for the jewelry, we take the uh, teeth of the tigers and animals, and tigers and cheetah. Those kinds of teeth will be taken in for the decoratory items. Okay, we should not depending on that way. Go for the other artificial, for other the decorative items, understand? And then, so animals should not be killed for their leather or tusks. Okay, tusks also is very, very, elephant tusks are very, very costly. Okay, elephant tusks are very, very costly, so don't depend on that kind of that kind of decorative pieces. We ourselves should avoid using products made from animal parts to save them, understand? We keep some animals as pets, farm animals. We should take care of them in following ways. Try to understand. Provide them sufficient food and water. Provide them a comfortable and clean living condition. Maintain their health and hygiene. Take care to veterinary doctor. Take them to a veterinary doctor when they fall sick. When they are sick, immediately we have to take to the veterinary doctor. As we are sick, immediately we go to the doctor, we consult the doctor, and doctor will give some medicine, and then we take that. Immediately we will be all right after the medication. The same way we have to take them to the veterinary doctor, and veterinary doctor will give medicine, and then after that medication, our pets will be all right. And then create awareness among people not to kill animals. Be kind to all animals. Be kind to all animals. These are the important things you have to remember from this, how taking care of the pets, understand? In short, you try to understand every animal and organism on earth helps contribute to the ecosystem in some way. We humans must protect animals and the environment as a whole to keep the ecosystem in balance. We depend on healthy ecosystem for food, shelter, recreation and clean water. Taking action to protect animals locally or worldwide is for their own food as well as us. Understand? So this is the in short, you have to remember to balance the ecosystem. Understand? And then today's homework, read the lesson 1 question answers, and lesson 1, 2, 3 question answers. Learn thoroughly. Understand? I hope you understood the lesson, children. As we have completed with this, we have completed lesson 4 today itself. Read complete lesson minimum 5 times. Okay, if you have patience, you can read more than 5 times also. Keep on reading the lesson. If you keeping on reading the lesson, you will be thorough with the concept. Okay, and after reading the lesson, pick up the keywords. Okay, from entire lesson, pick up the keywords and remember the lesson by using the keywords. Entire lesson from page number so and so to the entire word lesson you cannot remember, you cannot keep it in your mind, but keywords you remember. From lesson 4, pick up keywords. From entire lesson, pick up keywords, and if you remember the keywords, automatically you can remember the lesson. Understand? So may not be possible to remember entire lesson, but it is possible to remember keywords from each lesson. So remember the keywords, and so that you can remember the entire lesson also. By whenever you are thinking about one keyword, automatically the information which is related to the keyword, it will come into the mind. You will get an idea about that particular keyword. Understand? So try to read the lesson again and again, children. This is reading of the lesson is very, very important. First thing, you will get the pronunciation and you will get the reading habit, and by reading again and again, you can read very thoroughly and beautifully, okay, so audibly, so we feel like to listen. Okay, if you make a habit of reading, you will become thorough, and when you are reading, people will uh, will feel like to listen, understand, and then pronunciation you will get. That's a reason, at least that's a reason, because of these things you have to read the lesson again and again, understand. And learning of the questions is not important, that is also important, but once you read the lesson thoroughly, then start learning the question answers. Without reading the lesson, kindly don't try to learn the question answers. It is not possible. Read the lesson, make yourself thorough with the lesson, and then start learning the question answers. Am I clear, children? I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. And we will wind up this lesson 4 with this video class, children. Thank you. Happy learning, children. God bless you.